and welcome to another episode of the True Patriot Outfitters Podcast. Folks, we've got a special episode here. Pretty much our interview time is done for this season here, but I had a chance to meet this dude last week when we were in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and we knew immediately when we started talking about this that we had to do an episode together. These guys are brothers of ours in the cause out there of bringing helping and healing across in many ways that we can. This guy is the co-host of the Scuttlebutt podcast. If you haven't checked that out yet, you need to. We'll be putting links for that up throughout the evening here. Go check out those guys. It is a fantastic podcast. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in the man himself, Mr. Andrew Farrar, or Combat Chaps. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thanks, Gene. Dude, seriously, that intro is like out of control. I love it. I've got so many ideas to tell my host when he gets back from vacation. I'm like, dude, we got to start. I mean, we do the national anthem, yes.
Yep.
But I think adding more pictures would
Sure.
definitely help our exposure. Damn, I was impressed. I was like, holy shit, wow. That looks really good.
I'm glad you liked it, man. Yeah, it's that's our new one for 23. And as you see, even the logo is the old logo. That was the original logo that we come up with.
Yeah.
Once we locked in with the Colorado roots here, we updated our logo to kind of incorporate the Colorado Sea behind old George Washington on his horse there.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah,
And
so
you've got the Romans Warrior Foundation.
always.
I mean, we got to give a shout out to Brian. Brian
Absolutely.
Romans, wherever the hell you are, I'm going to give you a call. I'm waiting on an email from you, and you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he knows. I'm not gonna press it. It's just we're very, very excited about what he is giving me and my wife. I'm so excited because we're going on a really nice vacation, and he really,
That's
really
awesome.
helped out with that. And I'm so happy about Shannon and Brian helping us out, and he's going to be helping out my VFW post with a VFW 12206 cruise next year. So sorry,
Dude.
I let the cat out of the bag.
That's
but
all right.
He helps out with that.
You know, and that's the thing, man. It's Brian Romans is somebody that whether he likes it or not, he's stuck with me for life. I love this dude to death and believe in his mission so much, and the fact that he was willing to share space with me and allow me to come along on this mission is something that I am thankful for every day, and it's why we've dedicated so much of our time and efforts with the RWF and just protecting all that is within the network, man. And it's it goes so beyond the things we can't talk about possibly in one given day.
No, you can't. You gotta have a part 2, a 3, and a 4 just to get Brian Romans.
Because he just where he feels he can help, he's gonna help. That's just the nature of the guy, And
I mean,
so
he's a Marine. He's
right.
a Marine. He was in from 96 to 2011. He calls me commander because I am the commander of the VFW that he's a part of, which is still weird because he outranks me by 3 ranks. He's a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps. I only got out as a corporal. And so it's weird when he calls me commander and sir, and I'm like, dude, I am just a boot to you. Like you had woodland camis and black boots. I had the Marpat and brown boots. I can't even eat at the same table as you. Because you're an E6, you're a staff NCO. I'm like a corporal. I'm like a little NCO that just got his blood stripes. I mean,
well, you guys all are giants in our eyes, brother, and that's
Well, you are too, man. I mean,
we're the civilians out here that are just thankful to be rubbing shoulders and trying to make sure that you guys, all of you guys out there, know just how damn important you are and how much regardless of the crap you see elsewhere, how much we love you and how much you're needed. And yeah, I mean that's our mission, man.
We thank you and you're a huge supporter of Brian. You're a huge supporter of Stop 22. You came up to Murfreesboro, or came down to Murfreesboro, across to see the wall.
Oh
And to
yeah.
listen to Sal, which he played actually Saturday night, awesome. He did a great job.
Yeah.
Um, Bobby Henline, the comedian, was there. The guy
That's
who's got
awesome.
92% of his body, third-degree burns, missing an arm, and this guy is he's the funniest comedian I've ever seen. He dark humor. He makes fun of himself, which me and Fleek, we went to his show at Zany's, and we were like, we weren't sure to laugh at his jokes because he's making fun of himself, and we're like, dude, that's really dark. I don't know if I could
Right.
laugh at that. But he's a salty of the earth, great individual, and we actually sat down to dinner with him and his wife on Saturday night, and it was just amazing. He is very soft spoken when he's not on stage. He is got the kindest heart you've ever had. If you are around any of the areas, he's doing this comedy tour like Fort Bragg, Fort Knox, whatever the base is, the Army base in Colorado. I have no
Right.
idea what it is, but he'll be up there. He's going to Camp Lejeune. He's just an amazing guy, and I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have been there if I hadn't known about Brian Romans or Stop
Right.
22 or his huge following, and Stephen Cochran and Daniel Broderick and Sal and Micah and all the guys. I mean, Micah's a part of my post. Steven's a part of my post. Sal's a part of my post. Brian's a part of my post.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
half of Stop 22 is in the best VFW in the state of Tennessee. Yeah. And I'm saying that right now.
Yep. I hear you. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, heck yeah. Yeah. No.
Well, dude, we've got 301 people. We had 26 when we started, like a god at recruiting. So I'm that good. That's right. I am.
and
You're
humble.
welcome. You're welcome for my service. No, I am
That's
humble.
awesome. That's awesome.
Sometimes, but when I get on a podcast, I kind of toot my own horn. But I
No
had to
worries.
actually, I have to talk about TSP, the scuttlebutt, and you just flashed it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
This is the idea that my host, he's on vacation right now, and he's very sorry he can't be here.
We'll get him
But
on.
he's
We're going
on
to be doing some cross stuff together.
okay.
I'm sure, man. We'll
He's
do
on a
some
Carnival
stuff.
cruise right now. I think he's in Dominican
Nice.
Republic. I know
All
he's
right. Now I'm jealous.
I know, right? So he came up with this idea, and he's like, dude, he told me about it, and he's like, hey, what do you think about this idea about recording stories of our veterans? And I'm like, dude, that's a fantastic idea. And he's like, well, and he asked me, and I'm so humble about this. He asked me to be his co-host. One, never been like, I hate, I used to hate podcasts. Um, I'm a horrible speaker, horrible because my voice sucks because the Marine Corps killed my voice.
You don't
But
like
he's
to
like,
talk.
I don't like to talk. I got a C plus in interpersonal communication, which I had to take in college. I got a C plus in that class.
That's
Dude, I drank my way entirely through that class. Didn't care. And he called me up and he's like, "Do you want to help me out?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course, man." And so we started in his house. God, a year and a half ago, and we would get on and we would bring our fellow VFW members to an interview. I'm like, hey, do you want to meet here at 7 o'clock, Christiana, Tennessee? Meet at my house, and we'll record. And I'm like, okay. And he paid for all of his own recording. He actually gave me his laptop, and he just gave me this new camera, and these set of ears.
nice.
Um, and we have gone from his house to StreamYard. We have done Navy SEALs, Green Berets, Rangers, Air Force guys. We actually collect the stories of the lowest pogue to the highest operator.
That,
It's been crazy.
that's awesome.
And a pogue, if you guys don't know out there, for the True Patriot Outfitters
Yeah.
audience, a pogue is a person other than a grunt. And so we use that term a lot because everybody else except for grunts are pogues. So it kind of works out.
That's right.
And I was a combat vet, 3/8 India Company, machine gunner. Um, And yeah, and we just make fun of pogues, but pogues are very, very important because they're the ones that do the shit that we don't want to do.
That's right.
They're the
That's
ones
right.
that do the accounting. They're the ones that get us paid. They're the ones that bring food and MREs to our and our ammo to our to our areas of operation. So you can't have grunts without the people that are actually supporting you.
That's
And
right. So how did you, you and Fleek, you guys are the two hosts of the show there, putting it up here. You can find it at Facebook. You can follow it at TSP, the Scuttlebutt.
and
Also jump
Spotify
over.
and YouTube
Yep.
and
Jump over to
Apple Podcast.
YouTube. You'll catch it at the Scuttlebutt podcast at the @ sign there. You'll track them down that way. And yeah, pretty much any of your favorite
Are you looking all that
audio
stuff
only
up right
version.
now on your
I
computer?
am. Yeah.
Wow.
I've got 3 monitors, man. I
See,
look like
I can't. I can't do that.
I could
Damn.
land like a ship here, pretty much at this. Oh, trust me, that's the only thing impressive about what's going on around
That's
this
pretty
room
impressive.
right now.
We don't
It's,
have that. I mean, Fleek does, but I don't have that. I have one screen and that's it. I can't. I have to use my phone if I have to look anything up, and it's right here.
So I spent 23 years in the IT industry.
Hoorah!
Yeah, and over half of that in government IT. And so, yeah, I when I started getting involved in a lot of this stuff, trying to pick up the technology side kind of came second nature to it, so it wasn't too tough. But there's
That's
still been a heck of a learning curve. But no, dude, I've watched a couple of your episodes and listened in. I absolutely love the raw conversation nature that you guys have, and the fact that this podcast is for veterans. If you're a veteran, if you're a first responder, if you're giving your life of service, tune into this thing, man,
Yeah.
because it's real conversation. No, no filters, no nothing. And
Definitely
it's
not.
just, it's coming.
We say some fucked up shit on there. I mean, we don't.
That might be the first F-bomb on the True Patriot Outfitters.
Sorry,
And
sorry,
no,
guys. Sorry, guys.
No
I'm a chaplain,
apologies.
and I swear my head off. You know what? God, I'm okay with that, and God's okay with that because He has not struck me down yet.
No, man, we're you know what? I've never had a beef with. And if anybody does, then they can comment, and I can tell them that's cool, and we can move on. So no,
I'm sorry. I'll watch my mouth. Sorry.
No, you don't need to. No worries, no worries. But yeah, man, like I said, I've seen a couple of these out there and had a chance. I'm subscribed on YouTube. If you're listening here, do the same thing. Get out to YouTube,
yeah,
get a subscription going. And I'm sure I'll be listening to some of the other episodes as I'm driving down the road as our season, because I'm always doing audio stuff and podcasts.
If you have when you're going to Gunnersville, you need to listen to Lieutenant Commander Andrew Paul, Navy SEAL. That's a good one. RPC Chief Young, who's still in the Navy, and he was my RP in 2005. Nice. I've known this kid for 18 years. We actually that episode just aired last Sunday, and then Uncle Si. That's a really good one because he was Army.
Nice.
Uncle Si from Duck Dynasty people.
Right.
That was a great interview. There's one actually from August 7th, which is National Purple Heart Day. We had 7 Purple Heart recipients on the Scuttlebutt, all of them, all at the same time, and we all got their stories. And that is a really, really good one to listen to.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I actually, my first introduction to deciding to change our mode of business was with the Warrior Bonfire program. I was invited to an outing in Vienna, Missouri, to spend some time with 6 Purple Heart recipient combat vets, and it changed everything. It absolutely it changed everything for us. I spent several hours on the drive home talking to my lovely, beautiful, very smart wife, and just impressing upon her how important it was that we got to change up. We're not. If I want to make a career doing this fishing thing, it can't be just for chasing fish and checks.
Right.
We got to do something that leaves a mark somewhere, man, and something that makes a difference. And so we come up with this model, and I still don't know if it's going to work. I mean, I might have to grow up again and go get a real job eventually, but
No, don't say
like
that.
like the wife says, I'm doing this stuff for the Karma Bank. She takes care of the other bank, so I'm very lucky in that regard.
Yeah, no, you are. But no,
But
yeah, Fleek and I mean, Fleek, he wanted to do it, just to record the stories, and then he added something else to it. He wanted to turn it into a nonprofit and take these kids, take these people that we interview to baseball games, to hockey games, to football games, free of charge and with a mentor, and helping save the 22, which is not the 22 anymore. It's actually the 44.
right,
It's 44 veterans. It's not 22. The 22 is gone. The VA is now saying it's 44. But we are making a difference because, we could help people. And listening to this podcast, your podcast, and ours, it actually helps those people that are suffering from PTSD, TBI, what have you.
oh yeah,
And
oh yeah,
it's I've come a long way. I'm not gonna be humble on this one. I have come a long way. I mean, 5 years ago, I was a drop down drunk. I had a second DUI, and I didn't even know I had a problem until I went inside myself and like, Andrew, you've got a problem. And so I went to Veterans Treatment Court, AA. I went to this amazing program called Save a Warrior. It's in Hillsboro, Ohio, and it's a 72-hour detox, of a warrior detox, meditation, CBT, AA, ACA, equine therapy, and ropes course. They do all this stuff in 72 hours. And then you
wow,
have a 500-day plan after that of aftercare. And it's just amazing. I haven't taken meds in 2 years now. My life,
nice.
I'm living my best life right now. I love my wife. I have a house. I would never have thought be a house owner, and I am. I mean, I'm
That's
adulting,
awesome, man.
and I never thought I would be adulting because I was stuck in the bottle for. I started drinking when I was 8 years old. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
And
You know,
yes,
and
I'm spitting into a Crest Advanced mouthwash. Okay, that's what. Yeah. So if you're seeing that and you're like, "What the hell is he spitting into?" It is a Crest Advanced mouthwash empty bottle. It's the only thing I could find.
this episode brought to you by
Crest Pro Health Advanced.
That's right, Chris, if you're watching.
Yeah, you need to give that money to True Patriot Outfitters, like right
And
now.
we'll split that, TSP, TPO, we got it all, man. No, man, so that's awesome stuff on many, many fronts. And now, with the TPO podcast, what we wanted to do was we try to split it up between the nonprofit and the fishing thing, right? I mean, the fishing piece, all of this is our desire is recreational therapy.
Yeah.
I did a ton of research online about recreational therapy, and I watched it over the course of a few years go from what was considered alternative therapy to what is now it's classified as what's known as complementary therapy. So it's moved up.
Yeah.
They know the benefit. Medical journals have documented
Yep.
this stuff time and time again, that just the simple act of getting outdoors, man, can improve your mental health.
Exactly.
Now, when you add other areas in on the recreational therapy side, and curriculum and different points with that, which is what we're in the process. I'll air it here first and let people know. In order to say that we want to provide recreational therapy services, we have to make sure we are. We want to, but I need to have curriculum. I need to have a
Certifications.
certification of a recreational therapist. Well, we have, and we're going to be making announcements in the coming weeks, but we now have a master therapist who's agreed to do some pro bono work for us.
Awesome.
They're going to help get me certified as like a technician in the area, and they are going to help me establish a curriculum for all of our events. I think we might be the only, specialized in fishing support nonprofit that
Probably.
is going
I've never
to have.
heard of another one.
recreational therapy. Yeah. So it's like it's a big deal for us to make sure that when we
That
go out, man,
that is awesome.
real healing's taking place, along with the fact that you're going to laugh at me or with me, one of the two, and we're going to catch some fish. You know what I mean? It's like that's going to happen, guaranteed.
Dude, I
So
don't, Gene. I know of another fishing thing, but they don't. Healing waters.
yeah.
I don't think they have certified
Mm,
people like that in their nonprofit. I'm not. I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
yeah.
I try to get on with those guys, but it's just I don't feel. I don't know. I'd rather go through PTO. It sounds more. You guys sound a little, and I'm not knocking healing waters or anything
Sure.
like that.
Sure. No. No.
But yours right now, it sounds a little bit more appealing right now.
And you know what, we actually, Shields, Johnstown, Colorado, and New Canoe, they're a manufacturer of kayak. I'm actually part of Team New Canoe.
Mhm.
They worked together with us last year, and we were set up. We had, and of course Brian Romans at Romans Warrior Foundation set up 4 kayaks. And that's what we were going to do, is myself and 3 others. We've actually now, after talking to some experts in these areas, we're drawing back to where the most that I will go out with at any one given time is 2 other people, as far as the local stuff that we
Right.
do here. And the reason is to keep that interaction real, man, and to keep engaged there. Ideally, I'm taking either couples out or family members
Yeah.
out, or if I've got a combat vet, I'm going to see if I got another combat vet that can go. And it's because of the fact that I'm a civilian, first off. There is no possible way that I will ever be able to fully understand what a combat vet has seen, gone through, and done. I can have all the empathy in the world I want, and I can have the desire to help, and that's great. But there will come a time where another combat vet there is going to get it, man.
Yeah.
And if I can be that conduit, I'll show them how to tie the knot and point them in the right direction to catch the fish. And if I can
Yep.
sit back and let these 2 guys, go in there and have a blast, and then of course the nights, sitting around a campfire chatting, dude, that's what it's about. I mean, that's, if we can do that, give a couple memories like that, that reminds everybody that, you know what, we're not alone. There's lots of us out there.
Dude, I just had a spark of not genius. I don't know. It just you were talking and I'm like, and I'm thinking of something here in Tennessee that you would be very, very open to, I think.
Yeah.
It's called Canoe the Caney.
Oh, okay.
And we've adopted. I might see this all. It's all a circle, like TSP, VFW,
Yep.
my veteran advocacy. It all rolls into each other because part of my VFW thing, we have adopted the Junior ROTC Blackman High School Blaze,
Oh,
which
nice.
are the most amazing drill team for high school kids that I've ever seen. I mean, they're
That's
better
awesome.
than some of the color guards that I've seen in the service. I mean,
Wow.
they have been at the American Legion World Series. This is going to be their 2nd year in a row, and they're doing the whole thing. They only did 4 days the last year. They're doing the whole thing. Well, these guys, since we adopted them, we help them out, try and raise money and have fun and stuff like that. Well, they went to Canoe the Caney. There was like 25 kids going on canoes down the Caney River in Tennessee, and I was one of the chaperones. Like I had to hang back in the rear and make sure nobody got lost. But maybe you can call the Caney people and be like, "Hey, I
Yeah.
want to do this for veterans or something." I mean, it's a great. They supply all the canoes, all the paddles, even lunch. I mean, it's just a crazy. Yeah, are you online right now looking it
Yeah,
up?
I'm looking at their website right now, man. Let me throw it up here
I
real
just as
quick.
soon as you said that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, Canoe the Caney." And it's great. It's a great. We did like I don't know 6 miles down the Caney, and it took like that's it. It was awesome, man.
One
And
second
it's only
here.
like 30, 35, maybe 40 minutes away from me.
Yeah, that it does. It looks. I mean, there's a bunch to look at here, but out at Canoe the Caney.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's it's so pretty, and we did it. We did it in the fall. No, we did it in the spring last year, and it was awesome. I got a great workout in. I did not get wet, which was awesome. I did not go in the drink.
nice,
So
nice.
But like when I grew up, I was doing kayaks with the skirts and everything, and doing Eskimo rolls and stuff like that.
Sure.
They don't do that stuff anymore. I mean, do they have
No.
those kayaks still, or the kayaks have changed
So
altogether?
yeah, so now you have let's see,
They're open
jumped out there.
kayaks.
Yeah, so now there is a fishing kayak that's more, it's what they call sit on top. So
Yeah,
you
it's a
sit
sit on.
on
I'd never even saw one before
yep.
last year.
Well, and that's I find myself like when I went to the CVMA meeting last month, Combat Veterans Motorcycle,
Yeah, I
our
know. Yeah, I got some good buddies that are CVMA. Good, that's a
uh,
good group.
front range chapter 3-6 here. I went and I was talking about kayak fishing and some of the looks on their faces. You're here in Colorado and you say the word kayak. So I have to always remind people, listen, we're not doing whitewater fishing. All right. We're not going down a river and hitting rapids. We're going to go find the calmest body of water I can find. We're going to get on these very long, stable kayaks. My unlimited is a 12 and a half foot, 41-inch wide. The thing
Wow.
yeah, it's a platform to keep my chunky butt in it and to keep me stable. Yeah, I needed something that was going to be very stable, and this unlimited is every bit of that.
It was
So, and
yeah, it was great. I mean, I got a
yeah,
good workout. I didn't get wet. I didn't have to do an Eskimo roll, which I suck at, by the way.
yeah.
I haven't done one of those in God 25 years at least.
So I was a
Ugh.
swiftwater technician. I was on the Larimer County Dive Rescue Team, and I've been a swimmer in swiftwater. I've gone through my certifications and all the good stuff. And I'll tell you, I have
Nice.
zero desire to ever go in rivers. I just after you know the dangers of rivers. There's some people that love whitewater and get in that stuff, dude. I just nah. I'm good. You
I
know,
actually did some
I like that.
whitewater.
I like that float.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned the outdoor recreation helps the modality
Oh
of
yeah,
being. Well, I did when I got out of the service. I did two outward bound for veterans,
nice.
and one of them took me into whitewater rafting in Colorado, and I've
Oh
actually
yeah.
climbed Mount Champion.
Oh wow, very
Yeah,
cool.
13646, baby, and I had a nosebleed the entire time.
Yeah, that's I actually had thought about doing some hiking adventures here in the state of Colorado. I have a very good friend who is somebody that I would bring on as our master because he has hiked more 14s, and
Nice.
the guy is through and through somebody I would trust my put my life in his hands, and so he and I were kind of talking about this about what we do. And one of the big time dangers is the fact that, look, if I'm bringing some guys in, say from Alabama or Tennessee, dude, the first 3-4 days, if we're trying to throw them and climb them up to 10,000 feet, we're just asking for headaches and
Yeah.
puking and all kinds of elevation problems. It's like this, okay, we got to change this up. We got to come up with a different game plan on that because it is real, man. The elevation sickness is a
Oh
real
yeah.
deal. It'll
Well,
get
they
you.
they had us. We had to work out. We had to actually be in a little bit of shape.
Yep.
I like at least 3 months. I had like 2 weeks because I was like, yeah, I'm putting it off. It still hurt me. I got to the top. There's a picture on my Facebook. You'll see me at the top of Mount Champion in my Marine Corps digis green. And I went with 10 other veterans. And we started out in shorts, and then it got kind of cold, and we did a little mountaineering as well. It
Yeah.
was very very cool. But Outward Bound, I don't know if they're even still in business. I have no idea.
Right.
I was only allowed two all inclusive paid for hikes expeditions, and I did the whitewater rafting in Colorado, and then I did the mountain climbing in Colorado.
That's
And then
awesome.
then after that you have to pay for it. So I just did the free ones, but
Yep.
it was actually I should probably introduce you to Bob O'Rourke. He is a 14. He climbs 14. He's a huge. I don't even know what's the term for a mountain hiker.
That's a good question. A
I have no
term
idea.
for
He's
a
a mountain hiker. Not technical term. He's certified, really good, and he was a Marine lieutenant colonel. And he's an awesome guy, great guy. He's one of my friends on Facebook. If you want to check him out, he's a great guy. He actually led that one in Mount Champion. He's a great guy.
So hiker is the only thing that I've come up with
Hikers, I
here.
guess it's
Yeah.
hikers.
Yep.
And now Garden of the Gods, that's up by you, right?
That's down, yeah, Colorado Springs is where that's at, down by the Air Force Academy.
I know a couple people that actually hike that all the time, and I should definitely
Yep.
get you in touch with them too.
Yeah,
The
those are definitely that's that area down south we'd like to improve. I'm just north of the metro area here. I'm literally in the metro, but on the north end. A lot of our fishing, some of the best fishing in Colorado is down south, down by
Really?
Pueblo, and yeah, for bass, because that's what I specialize in is taking guys out bass fishing in
Okay.
Colorado, which they probably don't do. You think Colorado fishing, you think fly and trout. That's what people think of when they're here.
Yeah.
Here, I'm putting a bait caster and a spin rod in your hand, and we're gonna go hunting bass out in these waters because they're there. You just gotta go track them down. But and I get my
Dude,
butt kicked by all the guys out here that have been fishing these waters for a while. So
well, what you're doing is phenomenal stuff, and I'm so humble and I'm so thankful for you to have me on tonight. I mean, I just woke up from a nap and I'm like, where's his email? Where's his StreamYard? And I'm waiting and I'm like I'm preparing dinner and I'm like, boop, boop. I'm like, oh crap, honey, I gotta go do a podcast right now. So make sure that chicken is thawed out so we can have it because I can eat. Thank God. I'm fasting for Lent right now, and
oh, gotcha.
I'm doing a big black fast. Like I eat before sunrise, and then I don't eat until sunset. And sunset happened about 10 minutes ago, so I can finally eat for the day. I can have
Nice.
water and coffee like during the day, but it's part of my getting ready to be a priest. So
Wow.
yeah, I applied for holy orders 4 months ago. I've got to wait until Katrina, my wife, to finish up her school, and then I meet with the Bishop of Tennessee next February, and he will let me know if it's a yay or a nay. And then if it's a yay, he'll tell me where I have to go to seminary school, and
Nice,
that's
man.
3 years. And so I'll be hopefully in 6 years I'll be a black shirt, white collar guy the next time I come on here, and not swearing as much. Because once I
You
put on that black shirt, I can't swear anymore.
right, yeah. It clamps it off there at the collar, I
it, it
think.
it it makes me think. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't say that. I'll be offending a lot of people if I do.
Restraint.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
I don't know if I had a pastor, a preacher that spoke like me, I might be more inclined to take a look at church.
well, and I am an ordained minister, but being a priest and a
Yeah,
minister are different.
way
Minister
different. Yeah,
is one thing, and then priest, you got to go through seminary school. And some ministers do, but like to be in the Catholic Church and the Episcopal Church, you have to go through seminary, and then you have to be under a bishop. It's like a general, and he's going to tell me where to go. Like so,
right,
he's going to send me to a parish somewhere in Tennessee because that's the diocese that I'm in.
right.
So it's just I don't know. It's just
So
another journey, another spiritual
I was going to
journey
say,
that I'm going to be on.
what led you to this? You did this, you were a chaplain in the service? Is that
No,
right?
no, no. I was a
Oh
machine
no.
gunner in the service.
Okay.
And this ties into the VFW.
Yeah.
Um, 3 years ago, one of my mentors, Brian Walker, who is the assistant adjutant general of the entire VFW, and he is also the past state commander of the state of Tennessee. He was my mentor. He and I have been friends for a long time. We had our chaplain die um, 3 years ago, and it was in the middle of the year. And Brian, he called me up. He's like, Andrew, how do you like to be? How would you like to, be the chaplain of the state of Tennessee? I was like, that'd be awesome. And so he taught me how to. I had to do a campaign. I had to go to all the districts. I had to go to at least half of the 89 posts that we have here in Tennessee, and I had to get my name out. And so then I ran at state convention. That's when you run for all your officer positions, and I won it that first year, and then the second
Nice.
year, and then the third year, and now I'm on I'll be my fourth year if they have me. In June, I'll be 4 years running as a state chaplain in Tennessee, and I go out to funerals. I am a spiritual guru for those that need help. I need talking to or need some kind of solace. And it's something that I really like to do. I get to be with the families of the deceased and I get to help them. But I also get to talk to the 15,502 members every month with my chaplain's corner, and I give them good advice and I give them prayers and I give them things they should be thinking about, like the chaplain of the year, which is due March 31st. So if you're out there in Tennessee, it's still due. I've only got 2 nominees. I need some more. I know that was a good little plug. Thank you, Gene.
Right? Not bad. Not bad.
But no, I love the VFW. I love what it stands for. We help our veterans out in any way, shape, or form. I do. But we also the VFW provides a tribe. Like we were part of a tribe in
Yep.
combat to the
Yep.
left and to our right of us. We get out. We don't have anybody to turn to.
No.
We turn to ourselves. Why not turn to the VFW? It's all kinds of veterans of foreign wars, different conflicts, but we all share the same stories. We all went to a boot camp. We all took that oath. We all saw some sort of combat, be it helping or be it actually on the ground doing patrols and posts and whatnot. But
Sure.
if you were there, you can join the VFW, and that's why I love the VFW because they have such a great mission that we help out our youth with our youth scholarships. We help out Help a Hero. We do the Still Serving. We actually May 6th is our big help Still Serving. There's going to be about probably 500 or 600 posts across the country and internationally doing something for their community. And this is our second year doing it. And there's about 6,000 posts worldwide, about 1 million members. So a good chunk of them will be doing stuff for their community. Like my post, we'll be cleaning headstones at the Stones River battlefield
Oh,
in
wow.
Tennessee, and we'll be helping out Habitat for Humanity on May 6th. So it's going to
That's
be.
awesome.
But I can't even talk for the other posts around Tennessee. I don't know what they're doing, but I know there's a lot of them, and even
Yeah.
across America, even in Colorado, the VFWs there, they're going to be doing something on May 6th.
That's awesome stuff. And and that's one of the concepts we talk about that I try to teach people about that are maybe new and finding ways that they want to volunteer or help or just they're curious about part of the mission piece. One of the things that I try to explain to them is understand that we take about, between 8 and 12 weeks to recruit. Time served and then basically to send you on your way, it is basically a 2-3 day process. You get given some information. Here you go. Here's who to call. See you later. And it's just it's unfathomable to me that this is still taking place after all of the years that we have to understand that, oh my God, I don't care if they were stateside or if they were boots on the ground in Kandahar. It doesn't matter, man.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, like you said, that having a structured world and brothers and sisters around you that you trusted like that to just being stuck in civilian life, and it's
it's
I
hard.
was
It's tough.
oh
It took me a long time to to be who I am today. I was stuck in boot camp, 3-8 India mentality for the longest time. I would go out in public and be like, "Hey, you owe me this because I did this for you," and that is totally the wrong thing that I should have done. I did it, and that was the wrong thing to do. Yeah,
right,
I mean,
right,
nobody owes me anything.
right,
And but I was also a drunk for a long time, and I would spend my money, drinking all the
sure,
time.
sure,
I would live paycheck to paycheck, and I would go to certain places where it was really cheap to drink, and I would just lose myself because I was very depressed for a long time.
yep.
I
Well,
lost, I lost a lot of guys. My first deployment we lost 8. My second deployment we lost 17. We were Karma in the first deployment in 2005, and Battle of Ramadi in 2006, where one of my really really good friends lost his life. I went to School of Infantry with him, and It's real tough. And during that time, I lost my dad to suicide. When I was actually in boot camp, I lost all my friends. I lost all the friends that I just told you about, and
Sure.
then I lost my brother in 2014. So it was like, I mean, all this death, and for a little bit there, I actually I didn't go to church for a long time. I did growing up, but then while I was in, I didn't even think about it. I was thinking about the mission more than anything else. I didn't even think about my dad taking his own life. Who by I'll tell you that my dad. Thanks, son. Sorry, she dropped off a note to me.
That's all
Um,
right.
my my dad was actually a lieutenant commander in the Navy, and he was actually my first veteran suicide that I had ever even known. And I was 2 months into boot camp. I was at the rifle range, and I get called into the senior drill instructor's office. Staff Sergeant Bruno, I still remember his name. Um, and there's a priest, there's a chaplain, and there's staff sergeant. And I knock on the door. I'm like, "This is Recruit Far. Request permission to enter the senior drill instructor's hooch." Yeah, there's a whole speech. I swear, yeah, I swear to God, there's a whole
Right.
speech.
Right.
And so I go in there, and there's a chaplain, and there's my senior drill, and I'm like, "Oh shit, what happened?" And then I get a Red Cross message, and my dad has committed suicide. Sorry, I might get a little
No.
emotional. My dad's committed suicide. Um, Doctor, psychiatrist, lieutenant commander in the Navy. My taught me how to. The guy taught me how to play hockey. The guy taught me
Sure.
how to skate, and he has died. And I get to go home. I get to go to New York where we were living at the time, and I get to go bury my father. And then I go right back to boot camp, and then I have to put it out of my head for the next 4 years. And then I didn't really get a good closure with that.
Right.
And
Right.
after my three deployments, I came home. I had God, I had so many jobs. It's not even funny. I think 1 year I had 10 jobs in 1 year.
Jeez.
I mean, I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have a mission. Um, I this whole
Survive.
I didn't
It
know how
was.
to survive.
It. You were though. I mean, you were finding a way.
But
Sure.
it
Sure.
took a lot. Like even when I got married 4.5 years ago, um, actually, and I've known my wife for 6 years, so we started dating, a year and a half before we got married. And I told her that I was sober. I had stopped drinking for a year and a half, and then I met her, and I was fine. And then I went to this mission continues um, um, convention up in Chicago, and I saw one of my 3.8 guys, and I was just like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna drink with my buddy, and so I did, and then I continued that on for the next year and a half while I was still dating my wife, and she would find me home drunk, and I would lie to her that it was mouthwash and or something stupid, and then I was sober for the wedding, and I actually we went on honeymoon sober for a week, and then after that, we got back from Florida, and I started drinking big time. I mean, I blew the the breathalyzer said point 0.2.
Gee, many
Yeah,
Christmas.
yes, I was. I had. And I tell this story a lot. I had a 6 pack of Angry Orchard. I had 2 bottles of wine, and then I went down to. Uh, I hate saying this, but I went down to my the local VFW
Yeah.
in
Yep.
Smyrna, and I had 18 tall boys, and I drove home, um, and it was bad because
Yeah.
I pulled a Tommy boy. I pulled over to the middle of the road. I got out and I was like, "Hey, sir, just take me away right now because I'm done." And so he did. He took me away. I went to the drunk tank in Murfreesboro, and 2 weeks later, I was in Veterans Treatment Court, and 18-month program saved my life. Um, and then I've been sober since. I've been sober since July 21st, 2018.
That's outstanding, brother. You
Um,
know,
yeah,
man, and it's people don't realize sometimes, and we're starting to get better understandings of this, but the scars that take place with our mental health, if not dealt with, they don't close, man. And years can pass by, and all of a sudden they open back up.
triggers.
And
Yep.
it can happen everyday people to combat veterans. It doesn't matter. We're human beings, and if you have gray matter in your head, and I mean, then you're susceptible to this. That it affects everybody differently, but at the
Yeah.
same time, man, yeah, you were never given a shot to fully close out a book there, a chapter in your life. And unfortunately, you were, turned into things that could, and half the time, correct me if I'm wrong, but half the time you don't even realize
No.
what it is that you're fighting. You don't
Nope.
realize that it's there. You think it's just a decision and go with it, type thing. So
No, you're totally right. And there's one program that I did that helped find me, and helped define who I am. And I'm gonna plug him right now, and I'm gonna put you in touch with him because this is a good modality for combat vets and EMTs and firefighters and local Leos. It's a program that I mentioned before. It's called Save a Warrior, and if you look it up, it is an amazing place. It's in Hillsboro, Ohio, and it was actually
okay,
started in 2012 by Jake Clark. Jake Clark was FBI Secret Service. He was an officer in the Army, and he founded this program. And it takes a lot of all the different modalities that you see every day.
right,
Cognitive behavioral therapy, MRT, ACA, um, AA, equine therapy, ropes course, like I said before. Like it takes all this stuff and it takes all the good stuff and it gives you like a roadmap of how to succeed in life.
nice,
And it's not, I mean, it's free. And guess what? It's free. It's free for veterans. It's free for firefighters. It's free for Leos. All you got to do is get up to Hillsboro, Ohio.
right,
Go on the saveawarrior.org. Fill out the application. Someone will get to you in 2 days. Talk to Larry Turner, talk to Jake Clark, talk to Jake Weir. These guys, this program saved. I mean, really, really. I mean, mentally. Now the AA that helped me mentally and with the drinking, but this Save a Warrior got down to what you were talking to before, the
yeah,
scars from
yeah,
before, from 0 to 4, which we are most susceptible as kids, like 1 to 4, whatever. We learn up, down, left, right, bad, good, wrong, right. I mean, this will teach you, and it helps out with the trauma that happens afterward as well.
right, right. Well, and
And
that
oh, sorry.
support. No, I was just going to say that support network is so huge. Finding resources, Warrior Bonfire
Yeah, that
project.
too.
They've done an amazing job at their website now. They collect resources out there, so you can actually go out to their website. And they have a database that they've been compiling, and they've been doing this manually. It's unbelievable the work they've been doing. You type in where you're at, what type of service you're looking for, or what the issue is that you're looking for, and when you hit that query search, man, it populates a whole truckload
Wow.
of different resources in a given location, and they're building this every year.
I
They
don't even
started
think we
it.
have that in Tennessee. No,
They probably have. They're a
maybe they
nation.
do. I don't know. I've
They're a
never actually seen
nationwide.
any. Oh, really? Is it? Okay.
Yeah, Warrior Bonfire it goes across the entire nation, and so
Oh, well,
check it out.
I'm going to write
Yep,
that down. I need to get
yep.
that to my state surgeon.
Uh, retired Lieutenant Colonel Mike Foss is the president.
Okay.
And they set just to me, they set the bar.
Okay.
It's a fantastic organization,
You
man.
know
And
what? I've been a veteran advocate for a long time, and I've never heard I've never been approached with a name before, and I'm gonna
yep,
go look them up after this.
yeah, they're a solid organization, and
Wow.
they're run awesome over there. So we're I wanted to try to squeeze in and do some stuff with them again this year and next year. Just trying to see some of their events, but scheduling is tough. I mean, they're scheduled
What?
out a full year in
Yeah.
advance,
Well,
and
Gene, can I
so
put you on my schedule to come and talk to my VFW, or come have you talk at one of our midwinter or state conventions?
we'll have to get the schedule right, brother, because you're
Okay.
like you're a 20-hour run for me
Okay.
to get down there from
If
Colorado.
if we pick up the tab for you to fly, would that make it
Oh,
easier?
I mean, we can discuss for
Okay.
sure. Yeah,
Well,
brother.
we can. Yeah. Well, because I think you would be good. I know in maybe 2024. I know the commander
Yeah,
of the state of Tennessee is going to be Eric Spurbeck, and he may have his own person that he wants to talk. But we had at our midwinter we had a POW talk. He was our guest
nice.
speaker, and he was in there for 8 years. He had a
Wow.
great story, Mr. Richardson. Amazing, amazing story. And I would love to either have you at a state convention, at a
Yeah.
district convention, at something with the VFW here in Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it makes total sense. I mean, with the Romans Warrior Foundation being right there,
2 hours away.
in Muscle Shoals, yeah,
2 hours.
it's a walk in the park. And now I'm actually, you're going to love this. So I leave Tuesday, right, for
Huh.
Gunnersville. My GPSing on day 2, which is Wednesday, I'm going to be coming right through Murfreesboro
Shut
again.
up.
Yeah, it's the same track because I'm coming right down through Nashville, through Murfreesboro, and dropping right down onto Gunnersville there. I
Do you
was
have
like, are you
time?
kidding me? I was just here.
Do you have time for a quick lunch at Mission Barbecue?
I will have to like get with you because I don't know where I'm going to be at what
Okay.
time.
Hey, listen, I'm retired, man. I can make time.
Perfect. So
I
I
will make
will.
time for you, sir.
Murphy's is only what, like an hour and a half away from Gunnersville.
Yeah.
Hour
I
and a
actually
half.
did a wedding for one of my VFW members who lives in
Oh,
uh,
nice.
Arab, Alabama. But his mom actually, and I can't believe this didn't even come to me when I saw you last weekend. But his mom runs the hospitality for that Gunnersville, the golf course,
Oh, nice.
um, yeah, uh, I can't even remember. It's a whole complex of like cabins and
Wow.
dining facility in Gunnersville. Which, by the way, if you haven't been to Gunnersville, it's beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So I guess it was maybe Monday after the wall event there that and Tyler's benefit concert.
Yeah,
My wife and I, we drove down. We actually went to Lodge.
Lodge of the Cast Iron.
Yes, I got a picture in front of the
Yeah,
world's
no, I
largest
saw it on
cast iron
Facebook.
skillet, dog. Heck
Dude,
yeah.
Lodge is it's a super name here in Tennessee. Lodge is like, I mean, that is the epitome of like you want to do your cornbread in a Lodge cast iron skillet.
Heck
You have to,
yeah.
have to
The thing I got to say, plug and Lodge here again for them. These prices are so freaking reasonable for something that's probably going to last you your lifetime.
forever. And but by the way, do not
You
get it
know,
wet. Do not get it
make
wet.
sure you dry them out real
Make sure
well.
you
Yeah.
dry it out because
Yeah.
mine is starting to rust a little bit because I'm not my attention to detail is not so good as it was 18 years ago.
See, here in Colorado, dude, all you have to do is step outside of the shower and you're dried off. I mean, our air sucks the moisture right off. People
Really?
don't realize just how much of a desert we live in out here.
I,
Yeah,
I, I
it's
and you've got a couple seasons. I mean, no, not seasons, because I was over in Golden and Mount Champion, and then
yep.
you go west across the state, and it turns into freaking desert.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Moab, Utah is like like right there, right?
you get east of I-25 and it looks like it's proof that we've detonated nukes on our own soil, bro.
Yes,
It is
yes.
so flat. That's actually Tornado Alley.
That's the point. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly.
people
Yeah.
don't realize it. No, that half of our state is a dust bowl, man. It's I-25, and then west you've got the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
And that's the breathtaking. And then yes, you get off the western slope and you start heading down towards Utah, and it turns into desolate
I
country.
was like,
Mad Max lives out there.
you got trees and foliage and really nice stuff, and then you've got desert
Yeah.
and nothing and dry and aridness and
Coyotes don't even live out there. It's like there's
yeah.
nothing out here. What am I going to stay out here for?
But Colorado is great because you guys have the Colorado Avalanche, which I
Yes, I
had
know you love them.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, I came real close to getting my kid,
No.
a Predators shirt or something. I was like, nah, no, I want him to still like me. So.
But the Avalanche and the Preds, they play all the time. Like Chicago Avalanche, like that's their like go-to. Like that's in their they're in the same they're in the same
They're in definitely the same
division,
division. Yeah, I don't know if they're in the same conference anymore, but yeah.
I'm 17 years of hockey, and I can't even remember if that.
Well, they just changed them all up. They moved them all over the place. When Detroit's in the East now, what? It's like it's always been in the West. It's always been in the West.
Number 9, Gordie Howe. Sorry, Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe, there you go.
My boy from Detroit, Bobby Orr, Patrick Waugh from Montreal. But didn't he go to you guys?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
2 Stanley Cups with us. Yeah.
That's right, he did. And then Ray Bork, my Bruin, was a traitor and went over to the Avalanche.
The Bruins did that for him, and that was an awesome deal that
You're giving a shout out to the Bruins. You're giving them a lot of credit, man.
They really did. They really did, because they made the contract doable because they knew they had no shot at the playoff run that year. So when the Avs expressed interest, the Bruins made room for it, brought Ray in, got him his cup, and then he went back and retired, in Boston. And we still hung a 77 in our rafters for him too.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Who else was on the Avalanche that I would know? I mean, from I'm 45.
Rob Blake,
of course.
Joe Sakic.
Yeah, Joey Sakic. I forgot Joe Sakic went there.
Hall of Famer.
He's a badass.
A guy that you guys had in Nashville for a period of time, Forsberg.
Oh, Peter Forsberg.
Of
course.
If when he's playing for you, you love him. When he's not, you hate him.
Oh, dude, he's a great player. Forsberg. Oh, man, he was good for the Preds, man. He was good for the Preds.
There was
which, by the way, I don't even recognize the Preds right now. I haven't even been to a game this year because I don't know any of the players. I don't know any of them.
Does Underwood's husband still play for you guys, Fisher?
Wait a minute.
Mike Fisher.
Mike Fisher. I think he
retired, or
Chris Robinette, one of my life members of the VFW. He lives in Nashville. He goes to the Lexus Lounge all the time.
Nice.
He would kill me if I got this wrong, so I got to look it up. He said,
sort of set you up like that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I just, I'm more in the veteran advocate side now, and less in the NHL.
So I coached youth sports from 4th grade all the way to seniors in high school for 18 years. I had to finally hang it up when I decided to go after this fishing career piece. But now, and so I did kind of pull away from a lot of other sports, following them other than my Broncos. Watched that dumpster fire unfold this year. That was fantastic. But now that my son is actually playing at the collegiate level with the MSU Roadrunners, Metro State Denver here, I'm getting back into it again and starting to watch real close. And
he's gone. Mike Fisher, he retired in 2018.
Got it. Yep. Mr. Underwood.
Sorry. Yeah. And it's funny. Do they do Veteran Appreciation Night?
They do
with the Avalanche. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's actually coming up, and then they do another one in October, I think.
Because in 2018, the same year that Fisher retired, I was actually honored at a Preds game. Me and my wife Katrina, we were there. We got really great seats, and
awesome.
I stood up. They had my picture up there in uniform, and I cried like a baby.
That's awesome.
They all wrapped their like as soon as they gave all my medals and stuff like that, they started wrapping their sticks, and I just you'll see a picture of me on Facebook. I'm just bawling my eyes out, and I'm glad the NHL does that because
Yeah.
it's a huge thing to get honored at one of these games.
Well, and it needs to be done more, and it's putting things in real perspective.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't jump on politics or topics out there just because it doesn't do any good. But
it doesn't.
I don't care who you are. The situation, with the basketball player and the Marine and the basketball players coming home.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't care who you are, man. If that sits well with you, then there's something freaking wrong with you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so
No, you're
more of
right.
these sports, teaching kids to keep things in perspective. Nothing wrong with having goals and dreams and looking at that stuff. But when we talk about role models, when we talk about service to others, it's not athletes, dude. You know what? I'm sorry. When an athlete complains about their situation, I just shut off. I'm like, I know that $1.3 million is just not enough.
Yeah, I know.
You are just not getting what you deserve, are you? You play a game, you stooge.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up.
But you get the trifecta if they are a veteran and an athlete. You're like, oh,
it's a
wow.
rarity. It's a rarity.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
obviously Pat Tillman.
Yep.
God, I can't. Ted Williams.
There you go.
He was a veteran.
Yep.
My dad's favorite player. By the way, go Red Sox. That's right.
Nice.
That's right.
I've got no skin in that game. Baseball and me. Yeah.
Does Colorado have a base? Wait a minute. Does Colorado have a baseball team?
I'm not even a baseball fan, and I can still tell that's a dig. Colorado Rockies, chap.
Oh,
come on.
Right. That's right. I forgot about the Rockies.
Wow.
Dude, I'm so sorry. If it's Mississippi and over there, I don't really pay too much attention. Sorry.
No, I get it, man. I drive all over the place, but I will say, and I love coming to that neck of the woods in there. I feel so at home. Things are really beautiful in the Tennessee, Alabama area.
Yeah.
But it is like a different time zone, man. To
Yeah,
get there.
it is.
It's you got to haul. It's that drive. I tell you, I pulled it to Pickwick. I drove straight through, stopping every few hours to try to get some sleep on the road. I ended up being on the road for over 24 hours.
Ugh.
And I was just a can of smashed butt.
How old are you?
Yeah, 50 now. I did that last year. And it's like, I've realized that's why this year my travel plans were all changed up. I'm not
That's
the
what
young...
we talked. Yeah, we talked about that last weekend. If it's
I'm not
over
the-
10 hours, I ain't doing it. Not anymore. I can't
10
do it. It's too old. I'm too
10,
old.
11 hours, I want to shower in a nice bed. I'm going to get some sleep. So that way the next day I'll pull another 8 or 10 with you. And then I arrive good. My brain isn't foggy. Things are, I can focus because I got to the Pickwick event, which was one of the biggest events I had fished all last year with the Bass National Kayak Series. And yeah, man, for 4 days there, I was just kind of in a fog. I could never get my thoughts, together right on the game plan, and it showed on the results there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've changed it. But yeah, it is a different zone over there, man. Getting over to you guys.
And I forgot wait, hold on. You're like an hour behind me, right?
Are you in Central or Eastern there?
Central. Are we in the same time?
No, I'm in Mountain, so it's just 1 hour behind you.
Got it. That's why. Okay.
Yep.
That's right. Okay.
Yep. Just 1 hour behind you, because you guys are pretty close to the Eastern time zone too, though.
We are. Actually, it's funny. You go to Chattanooga, Tennessee. You're in Eastern time zone, which is so weird. And I used to live in Sewanee, which is an hour from here. But if you go down the mountain, you're in Eastern time zone. And so I used to go to the VA in Chattanooga, so I'd have to leave 2 hours early just to get to my appointment. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can we change the time zones? Can we make Tennessee just one time zone, please? Just one.
That's it's somewhere. It changes into Central, somewhere in Kansas, Nebraska. I always forget where the line is, but somewhere in there. I left my truck at. I didn't set it back for fallback, time. I just left it because I'm like, you know what, someplace I'm going to be at some point. That clock's going to be right.
That's going to be right. Yeah, that's right.
So, Well, this is good stuff, man. So VFW, you're doing a ton with that. We got the Scuttlebutt podcast. You're involved. You got your finger in a lot of pies, man. And that's what's amazing. You keep yourself busy.
I
You
and
know.
that's and being an alcoholic, a grateful recovering alcoholic, I should say. That's the first thing that I had to do was I had to keep myself busy. And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm starting to learn to say no.
There you go.
I did last week. I was like, I can't do. I had to put in my resignation for an officer position of another organization because I'm actually a lifeguard. I'm a
Oh wow,
part-time lifeguard at the YMCA,
that's awesome.
and I did it because one, I love the YMCA. Two, I've been working with this woman who runs the aquatic center. She's like, when are you gonna apply? I'm like, hey, I need to get all my ducks in the row and see if I can actually do this.
Right.
And then my VSO said I could. So then I finally applied, went through the certification. So I am lifeguard and CPR AED certified for adult, child, and infant. And it's funny. Well, it's not funny. It's pretty serious. But I actually got to save a 6-year-old girl 2 weeks ago from drowning.
Oh wow, good
Right.
stuff, chap. All right.
But it all plays into giving back to people because
Yep.
as a lifeguard, you're saving people physically. VFW, I'm saving people. Scuttlebutt, me and Fleek are saving people. But I'm not doing this alone. I have help, and I have learned, and this is a big thing. I have learned it is okay to ask for help.
Yes, sir. This was, I think, maybe, I don't know, about my early 40s, mid 40s. It dawned on me that a sign of intelligence is knowing when to say, I'm not quite sure. And I'm not using that as a, I don't know, and walking away. I'm using that as a, I don't know, and I'd like to know. So I could use some help with this.
Yeah,
And it all becomes, and it made so much sense because I've been in management of some fashion or form almost my entire career. And one of the things that I was always complimented on is how the people that I hired around me,
hmm
because I trust my people. I was not there to direct and push them. I was there to make sure they could get the job done they needed, and I got the resources to them that they needed to have to get that job done. And so it's like
yeah.
I'm here to support them more than I am to do anything else. Now, if foot needs to be broken off in behind, then that will do that. But for the most part, as long as you have good, solid professionals around you, so surrounding yourself with smart people, that's always a key. So
And
it just
motivate
started.
and motivated people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely, because I'm seeing that. I need. I mean, we've been doing so well in my VFW. It's just I'm hoping that the motivation. I mean, we made All American this year. I'm going to Phoenix and I'm going to get my little hat that says All American Commander.
Nice.
Um, and it just we went guns blazing last year, and
Right.
I think some of the steam, not from me, because I try to re up my steam all the time, but I think a lot of my and I don't want to say this as a bad thing,
Right.
but I
Right. Right.
think some people we need to be centered. And next year, that's my new goal: is that we need to recenter ourselves about the VFW. We need to help more people, and we need to get excited about the VFW
There you go.
and excited about getting the stories from our veterans on the scuttlebutt,
Yeah.
excited about helping more people with the homeless and feeding the hungry, and we need to reset
Yeah.
and go after it again. We need a break, and then we need to reset, and then we need to go and we need
That's
to go
awesome.
guns blazing again.
And that's Brian and I had those talks in December about we had some things kind of land on us at the end of December that really got to both of us, quite a bit in our own different ways. But we shared the same piece of there was a lot of disappointment with some things that unfolded, um, and it took a matter of let's be in the moment, let's accept what just took place here, but then within a few days, that energy came back for the two of us. And next thing you know, we're completing each other's sentences as we're talking, and then we
Yeah.
can both see we feed off each other when it comes to the energy focus. That okay, that just is going to motivate me even more for this year. That we are going to come out of this thing, two-fisted approach, but we're drawing back in some areas and refocusing. That
Yeah.
let's really get these right. You know what I mean? Let's really focus on this here, and then we'll let it kind of grow itself from there. And
Yeah.
that's like I talked earlier on about us drawing back on the number that we're taking out at a time with the TPO or the Romans Warrior,
Right.
field ops. Just trying to make sure we get our thing, everything just right, and let it kind of grow itself, through that. So
That's great advice. That's great. And Brian Romans, he inspired me. That weekend inspired. I mean,
at the Stop 22, the
it
other Heroes
rekindled
Den.
my fire.
That's awesome.
I mean, I was a little tired. I mean, we had done everything that we needed to do for our post, which was great. And I was like, okay, so what do we need? What needs to be done now? And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take it slow. And then seeing them and seeing the wall, it just re-inspired me. And Brian Romans and Stephen Cochran, you too, Gene. I just want to thank you three guys, for reintegrating me back into the helping mode again, because I was kind of like I was on the sidelines. I was like on the bench. I was like, I just need a breather. But then I saw that you guys. I'm like, nope, got to get up. I got to get up back on that ice.
I'll tell you, man. This
To use a hockey metaphor.
That's right. That's right. You had your break. Now for time for another shift.
Now it's time for another shift. That's right.
So I will. Here's my cool combat chap story. So we're sitting there, and I'm doing I'm trying to get some video footage here and there. Sal was playing at the time at the outside stage at the Heroes Den there, and I'm getting some video footage, and in walks this dude right into the camera. And like literally right in front of where I'm shooting it, I start smiling. I look over at my wife, and she's smiling, and I kind of pick my camera up like this. And next thing you know, he does this to Sal. And you turn around, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Chappie. I had no idea it was you. I had seen you several times, and I'm like, why do I know him? We had never met, Matt, but I've watched the TSP, and I'm like, why do I know this guy? And I heard you talking, and I'm like, God dang it, I know him. I know that voice.
Yeah,
and
it was when you can't get rid of this voice. Once you hear it,
it was when you turned around, I saw your profile, and I'm like, holy crap, that's Chappie. That's phenomenal.
And it was a blessing. That weekend was a blessing to meet you, to hear Sal, to hear all those wonderful artists, I mean, Stephen Cochran. I mean, he is probably,
he's such a cool human,
great musician, amazing person. And I'm sorry, Stephen, you're a freaking awesome MC. All right.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Awesome MC. I mean, great musician, but MC, man, dude, you liven up the crowd. You get them going, and he hopefully will be my senior vice commander next year.
Well, I'm telling you, we need to double barrel this dude and get him on the TSP and get him on the TPO
We've
podcast.
We've been
trying to narrow him down. This guy is like the Tasmanian devil. He is just moving everywhere.
He's hard, and you have to give into consideration he does have 5 children, and they kind of take up most of his time.
Yep.
So all the Cochran clan and Megan, love you. We need to get your husband on the TSP and TPO.
Yep. Got to get him on the podcast because he is. It's like I was telling my wife after we met him here in Colorado. There's just something about the way he tells stories, whether they're very heartfelt stories or whether they're funny stories. It doesn't matter. You are glued to every word when he delivers, and it's like you are podcast gold, Stephen. We need to have you on, buddy, and just get him talking about some things.
I remember when I first met him, man. He was. I mean, I was like glued to his hashtag Nazaria, hashtag invasion stories. And I'm like, yes, Steven, I said it. I'm sorry. I took your hashtag, but but this is funny. He's like, I'm sorry, this is really funny. I'm like, he's like, I'm Stephen Cochran, and I'm like, oh, who's Stephen Cochran? He's like, Google me, bitch. I'm like, and I did, and I Googled him. I was like, oh shit. And his picture, by the way, is at the museum in Paris Island.
Really?
Swear to God.
Oh my gosh, that is
I
too
will. I
good.
will when I'm there next Thursday. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday. I will
Yep.
take a picture and I will send it to you.
Please do. Please do. That
But
would be
he is
phenomenal.
famous at the museum of Paris Island.
That is fantastic.
So when you
Because
graduate boot camp, you get to go on a free day and you get
yeah,
to go look at the museum. And you go in there and you're going to see this this musician guy with his guitar and his back then platinum blonde hair.
I was going to say, is it the long blonde hair pick? Oh yeah.
It wasn't long, but it was like, yeah, I guess it was longer than it is now.
It's like soccer mom long.
Oh yeah,
You know.
oh my God,
That's right, Steven. I just said
didn't,
soccer mom.
Steven, I didn't say that. He did. Okay. He just called you a soccer mom, so you're gonna have to regulate that situation.
He called me Greg or Gary or something, looking right at me on stage, and he's like, "Gene, that's what it is." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks, dog."
Well, yeah, but you'll see him. You'll see him. You'll see him at Paris Island, which Steven's great. I love him to death.
That's cool. Yep.
He's got such a big heart, and so does Brian Romans, and so does everyone from Stop 22. Have you met Micah yet?
No. Really wanted to at this last event. I was hoping to catch him there. I know he came through. I think Julie and I had left by then. We had been traveling since like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So by the time 8 o'clock rolled around, 7:30
Micah,
range, we got old and went back to our Airbnb.
Micah is he's a 3.8 Marine, same as me. Mike and
That's awesome.
I met him. I met him when I was leaving the Marine Corps. He was a boot. I mean, he was a fresh boot drop, and
Right.
I met him just once, and as soon as as soon as I saw him, I was like, dude, Michael, what's up, man? And he's like, Far? And we had him on the Scuttlebutt podcast. Great musician, lives in East Tennessee. He's very bluegrassy.
Yep.
He's got an amazing voice. Everybody from Stop 22, like Brian knows how to pick them, man.
Yeah.
Like all those guys, they know how to play. All of them. Sal, Daniel. I can't remember who the
Chris.
Vietnam vet is. Chris Turner, of course.
Chris Turner,
Malachias.
Yep.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the newbie to Stop 22, my VSO, Malachias Doc. Amazing
awesome.
Man.
Yep.
Great VSO and great musician.
Randy Jackson.
Randy Jackson. Yep, of course.
He and Brian.
Tyler J.
went to school.
Tyler J. You can't.
I'll tell you, when I first
he's
heard
awesome.
about the Stop 22, I didn't do my homework. I didn't go out and research online. But I knew that Stop 22 thing was showing up here in Colorado at the Wall. And so the Wall gets here, Brian, everybody here. We did the escort in. The boys show up. We had Steven, Sal, and Tyler J. all show up. That night, one of the first nights, the weather's getting ridiculously cold for November for us here in Colorado. So we go inside to the Shields, and Shields is an outdoor store. It's like a Cabela's, Bass Pro type thing, except a little bit more on the fashion and some of the household items, along with the sports. But at any rate, they have a huge Ferris wheel right in the center of the store, a full-sized.
What?
The store is that big, and Tyler's looking.
That. That's cool.
Yeah, Tyler's looking around. He set up with an amp and his guitar and a stool right in front of this Ferris wheel, right in the middle of Shields, and started cranking out some tunes. And the moment he opened his mouth and started singing, I look over at my wife and I'm like, oh, I was kind of expecting to maybe hear some bar bands, type thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the level of talent that these guys, and then of course then when I get a chance to hear Sal and Steve, and I'm like, oh my Lord. I mean, yeah, these guys are national level, these guys could be on a label anywhere
Yeah.
and should be, by now. And then of course, then I started doing my homework and I'm like, yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah. If I had looked at this, I'd have seen the history of these guys. These are accomplished, artists. And
They are.
I love how each one of them kind of, it's the same genre. It's real country. It's real outlaw. It's
You get
rock,
something different every
but it's
from
very unique. Yeah, from each one of them, and yeah, it was impressive, and we were just beside ourselves. Super cool to sit there just on a in the RV with Brian and everybody as we're staying warm in there, and Steven and Sal start plucking out some tunes, just hanging out, and it's like, man,
See, I'm
what an
jealous.
unbelievable deal.
I'm jealous. I've never been in that. Well, I mean, one time. One time I actually drove the Stop 22 bus to
Nice.
Chattanooga. That is a trip I'm not going to talk about it because I can't. But
You
that
were
is a
sworn
trip.
to secrecy.
I am sworn to secrecy on that trip. But I'm never will forget. It was me and Sal and Steven and Travis McVeigh from Heroes Vodka, and I think there was somebody. Oh, and shit, Andrew Shaver. We were
Nice.
all together. They were doing some VFW thing, and yeah, it was a great concert, but
Great.
I'm never
Healing,
I'm never driving
brotherhood.
that bus ever again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope.
No, the thing I love the most is just each one of these songs, man. I can feel the impact,
Yeah.
and I've not been in y'all's boots, but I can only imagine what it must feel like to have, those words and have those lyrics and have somebody singing. There's an immediate bond, there's an immediate, effect that music has with people out there. And yeah, it's a major part of the Romans Warrior Foundation. There's no doubt about it. The Wall and the Stop 22 are our major two areas. The field ops, in addition to, we're hoping to build our, area up as big, but we're the new kid on the block. We got to take some time with it, but
Well,
for sure that Wall and the Stop 22 are the major lifeblood of the RWF for sure.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I was just talking to Brian about the Wall and how I'm trying. I don't know if you've ever heard of this group, but it's called the Reverent Warriors.
I have.
You have heard of them.
Yep.
Okay, well, I was gonna hook you up with Natasha in Colorado. She
Nice.
is the lead coordinator for the Colorado Springs hike.
Okay.
I'm actually trying to get a hike in Murfreesboro because one, we have 30,000 vets here in Rutherford County, but we also have one in Nashville. And I used to be the lead coordinator for Nashville back in 2019, and then I worked for IW for probably about 3 years until I stepped down to focus in on my VFW. But I just talked to Cindy, the CEO of Irreverent Warriors, Mama Bear, and Nate McDonald, fellow Marine, and COO of Irreverent Warriors. And I know Brian's been talking to him too. But
Nice.
I want to get the Wall at some of these events.
Yeah.
Start small, obviously, because they've got 125 plus hikes around the country and internationally now.
That's awesome.
And the
That's
mission
awesome.
statement for Irreverent Warriors is we bring veterans together using humor and camaraderie to prevent veteran suicide and promote mental health.
That's awesome. That is
And
awesome
it
stuff.
was it was a good time for me. I actually had to be 6 months sober to get my own hike. It went off great. Donnie O'Malley was there. And then I was a district coordinator. Then I was a regional, and then after that, I had to take a break because this chaplain thing came into, and I really wanted to focus in on that. But this year, I'm actually going. I haven't been to a hike. I went to the Nashville hike last year, but I will be going to like 4 or 5 hikes this upcoming year. Savannah, Kansas City, Nashville, and Jacksonville, North Carolina. Because one, it gets me to get to go to Camp Lejeune, and that's an excuse just to do the hike because I'm going to Camp
Nice.
Lejeune.
Nice.
Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. To Miss Dunaway, who's a lead coordinator for Jacksonville, who's awesome, by the way. But I want to try, like, the VFW, I'm going to say this. We've been trying to get the VFW and IW to have some talks, and national wise, not just post district state. I'm talking national VFW, help.
Right.
Um, it's taken some time, but they are talking, which is
It's
good.
good. It's
I
good.
don't know what's going on with that because that's national level. I'm a national recruiter. I'm not a national officer. So,
Right.
but we're trying to get. We've been trying to get this for years. Finally, something is starting, which is good. Um,
And
and yeah, and that's
there's a
great.
lot of
And a
moving parts with that
lot of
stuff
moving
too.
parts. And having
Yeah.
the wall, like I've even given Brian, the director of operations for the VFW, his email. I'm not giving
Nice.
you. I'm sorry, Brian. I can't give you his phone number yet, but I will when it's the right time. But I want Brian to reach out to him.
Yep.
Um, he's one of my mentors too.
That's awesome.
Like he had me doing because Jesse James Dupree, you remember from Jackal,
Mm-hmm.
huge supporter of the VFW, and I was one of his POCs in Tennessee for concerts that he would did. Like he did a concert at the Signal. I went to the VFWs to try and do a raffle for his chainsaw. He was at the Shed in Maryville,
Right.
but now it's something. Now there's another band out there, which I can't talk about it now because it's so new. But why don't you make yourself scarce for May 11th, 12th, and 13th in Maryville, Tennessee, and come down with me and get VIP access, or I'll try to get VIP access for you. I know I'll get it. To come see this band. Just like the music, I'm not gonna give you the name, but the genre. Just think Black Crows and Widespread Panic came together. Okay,
Nice.
they're that
Nice.
good, and they've been around since 2001, and they're from Atlanta. Okay, those are the only clues I'm gonna
Yeah, I was
give you
gonna say
guys.
you're gonna get yourself in trouble here. You give away too much more.
I know I
Yeah,
can't,
that's
I
awesome.
can't, but they're amazing. I went in Chattanooga, and I had, oh my god, I had a ball.
That's
And these
awesome.
guys are going to be helping out the VFW and helping out Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee, and then they're going to go a little bit. It's going to start small and then go big.
Very cool. Very very cool.
So I can't get in trouble because some of the stuff that I've mentioned has been from national people, but I can't
Well,
outright say it.
and don't worry, it's probably going to be about 3 weeks before this airs because I've got like for the next 2 weeks I've got episodes already scheduled. So
Okay, good.
this will hit probably middle of March is when this we'll get this one fired up.
How long do you go? I mean, how long are your episodes? Like hour and a half, 2 hours?
Yeah, well, this one's about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So we've been going. I most of the time they're about an hour, but every now and again when the content's good and when we're chatting, dude,
Oh
I just let
man,
it roll.
that just
So
warms that
yeah,
warms my teak heart because I am a teak. I am a fraternity member of the Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity. Sorry,
that's all right. That's
that
all
was a little
right.
plug for my teak brothers who I don't even talk to anymore, but yet I did so much drinking with in college.
You should tag them when this episode
Oh, I'm
comes
going
out.
to.
Yeah, so they can they can
Well,
follow
I'm gonna
along and
see. I'm gonna be down at my college the end of March. Um, for a because I was a rower. I was a hockey player and a rower. Those were my two sports
nice.
that I was really good at. And when I went to
Covered both
college,
ends there. Nice.
yeah, because I wasn't good at lacrosse, I wasn't good at soccer, I was terrible at football. But there were two sports that I was very good at: hockey. I still have a missing tooth, by the way.
Nice. Nice.
Um, and
One of the chicklets?
and yeah, exactly. And rowing. My dad rowed at Stanford. My brother and I both rowed at boarding school, and then my brother rowed for University of Washington, and I
Wow.
rowed for Rollins College in Florida. And I rowed at Henley. I've rowed internationally. I even part of the rowing club here in Nashville called the Nashville Rowing Club. But I was really good at that sport. And we have our rowing, our crew rowing reunion
Oh
at
wow.
Rollins College in the spring, March 22nd to the 26th. So you're going to see my fat ass in a rowing unisuit, and I will post pictures, man.
A unisuit?
Unisuit, just like the wrestlers use, but the rowers
No.
we have. I actually, dude, it's in the closet. I mean, you
You're
can't.
like, Andrew,
Yeah,
I put the O in Speedo far.
that's right. That's right. And dude, my
No.
gut is gonna like. I used to not have this gut when I was, dude. When I was 19, 20 years old, I didn't have a gut. I was, I,
Didn't
uh,
we all?
I was
Yeah.
108, 190 pounds. I
Yep.
looked awesome, and then I got fat. Went to college, gained about. Then I worked in the civilian sector for probably about 3 years. Then I joined the
Yep.
Corps. I was 230 when I went to boot camp, 192 when I left. I got down to 182, battle of Ramadi, and now I'm a whopping 244 right
Yeah.
now.
You and I are sitting around this same weight. I'm actually probably closer to 250, and I could blame COVID or pretzels filled with peanut
Do you
butter
know
or
what?
whatever.
Let me tell you. Okay,
It's just getting older. I got to get rid of this gut.
this is
There's
a
no doubt
fail
about
safe.
it.
This I have seen already a tremendous change. Now this is Lent, but I'm going to continue it on. But this black fast I'm doing, I was 252 on Wednesday. I'm 245,
Wow.
244 today.
See, I'm one of those goofballs though. That I have to watch my sugar.
Yeah.
I'm not diabetic, but I could be if I don't pay attention to what's going on.
No,
And
I hear
so
you.
I get these stupid sugar things that happen, and yeah, that I'm old and I wear readers now, and
Katrina, my wife is the same way. She's got to watch her sugar.
yeah,
I love my wife and I love her more than life itself.
I, that
And
fasting thing doesn't work for folks that have to watch
well,
that
she
stuff,
can't.
you know.
She's got she gets like if she doesn't eat, she gets real like she'll
Yep,
faint and she'll pass
yep,
out. So she can't do the fasting thing. I
yep.
I
Same.
have been actually doing intermittent fasting for since August. So
That's wild.
I that preparation made me ready for this fast, which it's still kicking my ass. I haven't eaten since 5:50 no, 6:15 this morning. Sunrise was at 6:24. I should have ate like an hour ago, but I am so
Gotcha.
involved and uh, into this whole podcast we got going on right here.
Heck yeah. Well, listen, man. We need to absolutely start brainstorming
We do
during this season about how we can
help each
work
other.
together.
Yep.
And if the True Patriot Outfitters becomes a brother podcast to the TSP, man, anything we can do on our end to help you guys, absolutely, we'll do it.
That would
Some
be
guests that we
amazing.
can send your way, and like I said, when Fleet gets back, we should just all sit around and have some coffee or whatever, and
Yeah, we should
connect up through, yeah, just connect
StreamYard
up
and just have a meeting just like this or a Zoom or whatever.
and find out what it is we can do to help each other, man, because the mission you guys are on with that is something we love.
And the mission
And
you are on, I mean, because we're like,
we're all serving the
yeah,
same people,
we're all
right?
serving the same people. Exactly. You took the words. You just finished my thought. So
So
I guess
yeah,
we're
man,
turning into like a Brian Romans Gene
that's what I'm saying.
kind of thing. Which
And
by the way, Brian Romans, we love you, we miss you, and we wish you the best wherever you are. Which you are 2 hours away. You're 2 hours south of me right now, and
that's
I'll
right.
be there on the 7th, dude.
That would be super cool, man. Like I said, reach out to him,
I
make sure
will.
he
I'm
can get
gonna I'm gonna text him right after I get off.
figure a kayak out, and that would be super cool to get us all out there, and we'll see if we can
What
go
time do you
find some
guys?
fish.
What time do you guys start? Like early in the morning?
Yeah, yeah, it'd be best. We'll get out. We'll play it by ear and see what's going on.
Okay.
7 o'clock or whatever. I don't know when the sun comes up out there right now, but I'm about to
Right now
find
it's
out.
6:25 tomorrow, so
Got
it's
it.
probably gonna be 6:45 next week.
Yeah,
I'm just guessing.
if we get out, between 7 and 8, it would be just fine. I think
I'm
we're
gonna have
not.
to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning, so you're gonna make me get up at 3, have my coffee, and then drive the Muscle Shoals. Okay, I'll do it. No problem.
I,
If
you
it's
know,
for you and Brian, fuck yeah.
look at that.
Yep.
Well,
I said
listen,
it again.
man.
I said it again.
That's all right. That's all right. We are looking forward to the future and doing a ton more. Folks, get out and follow these guys at the Scuttlebutt podcast. If you haven't seen them yet, definitely go out there, follow Combat Chaps, and follow Fleek. These guys are doing amazing work out there. They have great episodes, and you will absolutely for sure enjoy the stuff you're seeing. As always, smash that subscribe for us button here with the True Patriot Outfitters. I can't tell you what good that does for us. It helps the supporters that get behind all these missions, man. Give a follow to both of us.
I'll do that right after I get off.
Oh, I appreciate that.
No problem, sir.
And listen, folks out there at home, as always, like we always say, tight lines and be safe.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.